Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So greatly appreciate it. Before we start, let me give my usual disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out and I would appreciate it so very much. Okay. 19-year-old Marlin Ochoa Lopez was born on November 16th, 1999 in Mexico. Two parents were Cal and Ochoa and came to the United States when she was a toddler. She was the oldest of four siblings and she would help her mother raise them. She was described as studious, intelligent, family-oriented, caring, and creative. She married her husband, Giovanni Lopez, on January 29th, 2017. The couple had a 3-year-old son together and they were expecting their second son in May. During this time, Giovanni worked to support the family while Marlin was attending the Latino Youth High School in Little Village, with dreams of working in the fashion industry and becoming a singer. Okay, you don't have to have kids to know how incredibly expensive they can be. Marlin, just like so many other expectant mothers, joined a Facebook group called Help a Mother Out. This group is set up like a Facebook marketplace where expectant mothers can sell or trade clothes. They can get advice from each other. They can get together and have play dates after the babies are born. Anything. It's more like a supportive community type. At the time, the group had 32,000 followers and a new subscriber by the name Clarissa Figueroa. 46-year-old Clarissa lived in the basement of her mother's Scottsdale neighborhood home. She had 4 children, a set of twin girls, a 24-year-old daughter named Desiree, and a son named Xander. 20-year-old Xander would pass from natural causes in 2018. February 5th, 2019, Clarissa signed up for the Help a Mother Out Facebook group. March 5th, 2019, Clarissa began writing posts asking if there were any mothers that were expecting babies in May, because Clarissa claimed that she was pregnant with a baby boy that was due in May. Even posting pictures of the baby's nursery, ultrasound pictures, and claiming that she was going to name the baby after her son Xander that passed away. Clarissa also had her tubes tied, and she would get called out for this. Somebody in the group would call her out for this, and her reasoning is, I had an emergency surgery for my appendix. Well, when they went in to remove it, they see a cyst on my ovary. Well, they had to untie my ovary well after they removed it. They forgot to tie it back up, and here I am a year later having a baby. Crazy girl, get yourself a lawyer. Regardless of the miracle, get your money. Yeah, I was actually thinking about the same thing. It would be in this Facebook group that Marlin and Clarissa's paths would first cross. Clarissa offered to give Marlin free baby clothes for her son, just to help mother out. Okay, so I already know what you're thinking because I was thinking the same thing. Why would a woman that's pregnant with a baby boy give away baby clothes to a stranger that she does not know, right? Okay. So, I suppose if you play devil's advocate, you could come up with reasons such as she had an excess of clothes that she didn't need. She had abundance of multiples and no pregnant friends. She gave away items that she really didn't care for. Or she wasn't pregnant, May was approaching, and she needed to produce a baby to cover up her lies very quickly. I'm on the south side of Chicago by 79th and Pulaski. If you want to wait a week, my girl is all brand new boy clothes her son never wore. Yes, girl, that's fine. Thank you so much. No problem, girl. I know how it is. She was lucky to have 2 baby showers, so she just loves to spread the wealth.
I'm fine with the help. Inbox me for more info, okay?
April 1st, 2019. Clarissa and Marlin would meet for the first time at Clarissa's home with her daughter Desiree and Desiree's boyfriend. Prior to this meeting, Clarissa told Desiree that she needed her help killing a pregnant woman and stealing the baby. When Desiree told her boyfriend about this, he was shocked, as he should be. That should have been his first clue that his girlfriend's mother was a psychopath and that the apple did not fall far from the tree with this one. During their first initial meeting, Marlin, Clarissa, Desiree, and Desiree's boyfriend were all in the basement together. Desiree's boyfriend would later tell authorities that Clarissa and Desiree were acting very weird, very secretive, going into other rooms to have private conversations, and that Desiree was very shaky. He pulled Desiree aside and he told her, "If you hurt that woman, I'm going to authorities." Thankfully, Marlin would leave that meeting without incident. And Clarissa would tell Desiree's boyfriend that this was an April Fool's joke, that Desiree was playing on him, and that they were never actually going to hurt Marlin. A few weeks later, Clarissa would reach out to Marlin again and ask her if she was interested in a free baby stroller. So, if you're a parent or you know a parent, then you know how incredibly expensive things can get. And a stroller falls under the category of a high-ticket item, and it also falls under the category of an essential for a mom. So, to get a free stroller must have been huge for her.
Mommy's in here. By any chance, is anyone selling, trading, or just simply donating a double stroller your babies don't use anymore? I just really need one for my baby, soon to be born, and my 2-year-olds. Preferably neutral color. I'd really appreciate it. It'll be such a great help. I'm also selling a single neutral for $50. Brand new in box, willing to trade for a double stroller. Near South Side, around Gage Park. I can pick up.
April 23rd, 2019. After Marlin got out of school for the day, she drove over to Clarissa's home, parked in front of her house, and went inside. This time, it was just Clarissa and Desiree who were present. They sat in the living room and they talked for a bit. Then Clarissa and Desiree got up to go into the kitchen. Before they went into the kitchen, Clarissa turned up the music. They went into the kitchen together to discuss the details of their sick, twisted plan. The mother-daughter duo go back into the living room, and Desiree starts showing Marlin a photo album with pictures of her deceased brother, Xander. While distracting Marlin with pictures of her brother, Clarissa comes up behind her with a cord in her hand, puts it around her throat, and begins to strangle Marlin. At one point, Marlin was able to get her fingers in between her neck and the cable, and it's at that point that Clarissa yelled to her daughter Desiree, quote, "You're not doing your effing job," end quote. That's when Desiree got up and began to peel Marlin's fingers away from the cord one by one. Clarissa tightened the cord and held it for 4 to 5 more minutes. After Marlin passed, Clarissa said to Desiree that she must be gone because when she researched it, it takes 4 to 5 minutes to strangle someone and they will urinate on themselves when they die. Awful. Fucking twisted bitch. She then told Desiree to get a blanket, a large plastic bag, and a knife. She sliced open Marlin's stomach and began to remove the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the baby. She then placed the placenta, baby, and cord into a bucket. She wrapped Marlin up in a blanket, put her in a garbage bag, and tied it tight. She then dragged her body outside and placed it into a garbage can on the side of the house. She went back inside, she called 911 and told them that she'd just given birth to a baby and that her baby wasn't breathing.
The baby isn't breathing. The baby is pale and blue. They're doing CPR.
After Chicago Fire Department arrived, they take Clarissa and the baby to the hospital. The baby still has the umbilical cord and placenta attached to him. Once they get to the hospital, Marlin's baby was rushed to the NICU and remained there in grave condition with no brain activity. Clarissa and her boyfriend Peter were posting photos of them with what's supposed to be their new baby, but really it's their stolen baby. But they're actually posting pictures to Facebook of them holding this baby. While Clarissa was in the hospital, Desiree took Marlin's phone and her car. She drove it over to her sister's house to retrieve 2 more additional phones. Not only did red light cameras catch Desiree driving Marlin's car, but Marlin's cell phone pinged to that area at that time. After leaving her sister's home, Desiree got back into Marlin's car, threw Marlin's phone out the window, and parked Marlin's car within a half a block of their home. Okay. Before moving on, since we just spoke about the other siblings, there is absolutely no evidence or any shred of proof that either one of these twins had any knowledge or anything to do with their mother and sister's sick, twisted plan. They actually do an interview where they have to hide their face because they're getting death threats for something that they more than likely had nothing to do with and had no idea was even happening.
They are monsters. It's just too much already. It's just too much.
Scared to show their faces or reveal their names, the adult twin daughters of Clarissa Figueroa described the horror after learning that their mother and half-sister Desiree allegedly murdered a woman, took her baby, and tried to pass it off as her brother.
My mom goes, "Do you want to see your baby brother?"
That was April 24th, the day after they say Mom Clarissa called to say she had a baby. The twins say they hadn't seen their mom in nearly a year, but they did keep in contact with her over the phone.
So you moved around the labor and delivery.
Yeah, I wasn't
any problems?
Yeah, well, any problems. I just went in her room.
One sister says she visited her mom 2 days later on April 26.
I seen the baby and I touched the baby, and I didn't think of anything about like it wasn't my brother because my mom said it was my brother.
Both women say they grew up in an unstable home and were neglected by their mother.
I was a teen mom at the age of 16. I lived on my own since then.
Tonight, both sisters admit they had doubts.
They should have checked my mom. They should have made sure that the baby was her mom. Like, if they knew that her tubes were tied, why didn't you double check? Like, why didn't you check if that was her baby?
The twins say they will not be able to forgive their mother and sister.
At the hospital, Clarissa had blood on her arms, hands, shirt, and face, which was cleaned off by the nurses. When she was examined by medical staff, they said that she showed no signs of a woman who had just given birth. And this actually happens more than it ever should, but the majority of the time in these stories, these women never take into account that you don't go back to normal 5 seconds after you give birth. And it's typically how they get caught. Not to mention that Clarissa had given birth 3 times already, so you would think that she would know that. After Marlin failed to pick up her son from daycare and never show up at her home, her husband filed a missing person report. But police would tell him that they had to give her at least 72 hours before they could consider a missing person. It's at this point that the family hired a private investigator. I have so much to say about this, and nothing good, so I'm not going to rant. April 26th, 2019, 3 days after the very pregnant missing mother was missing, police decide to file a missing persons report. May 3rd, 2019, Marlin's husband goes on TV and pleads for any sort of information about the whereabouts of his wife and unborn baby. May 5th, 2019, Marlin's due date comes and goes. May 8th, 2019, Marlin's family spots her car parked. May 9th, 2019, the family begins to go door to door around the area where Marlin's car was spotted, with a slew of parking tickets on it. So, why didn't the parking tickets get somebody's attention? The break in the case would come when Clarissa posts a GoFundMe for Marlin's baby that she's pretending was hers. And the GoFundMe stated that her baby was about to pass and the family needed money for the funeral.
On April 23rd, Clarissa Figueroa, pregnant at 36 weeks, found herself terrified as she began to experience abnormal labor pains while alone in her house. Within moments, she gave birth to her son, Xander, at 7 pounds as she called 911 and followed the instructions of the emergency dispatcher. Quickly, the ambulance came and rushed the baby and performed CPR, as they found the baby had been struggling without oxygen. They were both admitted to the hospital to discover Clarissa has been suffering from preeclampsia, explaining the sudden birth. Xander, his mother Clarissa, and his father Peter have found themselves staying at Christ Hospital, desperately hoping Xander will pull through. In the NICU, some parents have to hold their infant as they take their last breath, and others get a call that their baby died suddenly in the middle of the night. This is what Clarissa and Peter are experiencing at this very moment. They are preparing to say goodbye to their baby boy as they have to accept that Xander won't survive too much longer. Baby Xander, despite all he is going through, is a little fighter and has already captured the hearts of many family members. It is an unimaginable loss that no person should ever have to endure, one you never get over. Honoring the short life that baby Xander had is one small way to help provide closure and start the mourning process for the family. A funeral and burial are rituals that help people process this tragedy they are trying to survive. A funeral is an outrageously expensive event, even for a baby, which many of our families can't afford. We set up this fund as a way to help Clarissa and Peter pay for a proper burial. This is the most difficult time in their life, already having suffered the loss of her son, Xavier, less than 2 years ago. Clarissa is hoping this is one small thing that we could do to help them lay their baby to rest next to his brother. Please consider even a small donation, and thank you for taking the time to read and consider. God bless. Help us spread the word.
Police obtained a warrant for a DNA test that would conclude that Clarissa and Peter were not the baby's parents. The test also proved that Marlin's husband was the biological father of the baby. May 14th, 2019, police show up to Clarissa's residence. When they arrive, they spot Peter in the backyard of the house, cleaning a rug with bleach and a hose. When he spots the police, he drops the items and he walks away from them. Clarissa, Desiree, and Desiree's boyfriend were inside the home at the time. The 4 of them were taken into custody. The home was secured and searched.
This person, who didn't want to be identified, said that woman from the home, one of 3 people being questioned, used to babysit her infant until she began acting strangely.
She told me how she was getting really attached to the baby, how she couldn't wait to be a mom again.
During the search, police found Marlin's body still in a garbage can with the phone cord 2.5 weeks later, along with burned clothing. Luminol would also show massive amounts of blood in the living room, bathroom, and hallway of the home. While at the station, Desiree would end up giving a full videotaped confession. Clarissa and Desiree were arrested and charged with first-degree. Boyfriend Peter was arrested and charged with concealing a murder, but they have yet to be sentenced.
This is the beautiful mural that has been painted here in Pilsen to honor the life of Marlin Ochoa Lopez. She wanted to be a model, and now here she is, larger than life. It has been a comfort to all who are celebrating her life today. Attempting to understand the unthinkable.
Thank you to all who are here today.
Mourners of Marlin Ochoa Lopez look to their faith.
She will never be forgotten, this baby. She belongs to all of us.
Sé muy bien que no existen palabras humanas que puedan mitigar el dolor de un alma enlutada.
There are no words to express the pain of a life that is gone.
Okay, guys, if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so, so, so very much. I truly do. If you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It means so much to me. If you have any case suggestions, please email me, harding527@yahoo.com. As long as the information is on my side, I'm really good about covering your cases for you guys. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there.